Ho, you are not ready. Unstoppable dynasty, young Hova. I'm a hustler, baby.
On to the wide receiver position. Any commentary so far on the wide receivers this year?
Well, Randy Moss is killing everybody.
Is there any way that that's going to stop?
No, it's not. Injury, right? Injury. He's had injury problems the last couple of years. It just doesn't look like he's laboring at all. And Tom Brady's throwing everything right in his hand. It's too easy. It's way too easy.
It looks like pitch and catch.
It is. Now they play Cleveland. So
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but a disappointment for me. I think Torrey Holt's been a bit of a disappointment.
Okay.
I'm a little. I thought that offense would be good.
We were a little leery on Holt. We knew he kind of had an injury issue coming into the season.
He did.
But he's always been a top producer, and this year it's been a tough year for him. It's been a very tough year.
But it's a bit of a disappointment. That whole St. Louis offense just has been disappointing to me. I was expecting great show at turf again, but it hasn't even been close.
Yeah.
How about your surprises?
Well, surprises. I mean, Braylon Edwards is up there. I mean, the guy, he was the #1 pick for a reason. Cleveland took him very high, and he's producing this year finally. So he's a surprise, but he's someone that I think has a ton of talent. And TJ Houshmandzadeh, he's either the second or third wide receiver in most formats at this stage. They throw the ball to him so many times. He gets a ton of catches, and in the red zone, he's more of a target than Chad Johnson is right now. So Houshmandzadeh is a pleasant, not a surprise. I expected him to be in the top 10.
He's a top 10 guy, right?
He was, but he's way up there. So
he's having a heck of a season so far.
So, guy you think will do very well this week, Jason? Who do you like?
The guy I really like this week is Deion Branch, playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. When he played for New England, he tormented the Steelers, went deep on them a lot. I don't see the Steelers being able to stop him. He just knows how to get through that secondary and break away. So I like him this week. In fact, I gotta admit, I picked him a couple weeks ago as my sleeper pick. And he didn't have a catch. He was shut out.
0 points.
Absolutely shut out.
0.
So Deion, it's time for you to redeem me this week.
Yeah.
Your pick?
Fitzgerald Fitzgerald for Arizona. They play at St. Louis this week with Anquan Bolden still, mending the injury. Fitzgerald's going to be the #1 target for sure. And against St. Louis, do they even have a secondary? I mean, they can't stop anyone right now. I think Fitzgerald, especially on that turf, is going to run wild and have a huge day. I really like him this week. So, how about sleeper days?
My sleeper is Derek Mason, playing at San Francisco. San Francisco has proven to be a very overrated team this year, I think. Started out 2-0, but since then they've just looked absolutely terrible. So my pick, Derek Mason. Your sleeper?
Antoine Randall L. for Washington. They play at home against the Detroit Lions. We all saw what happened to Detroit the last time they went on the road at Philadelphia. Kevin Curtis produced about 50 fantasy points if you had him in your roster, in your lineup. We have him. We didn't use him, unfortunately, for our team. But who would have thunk it, But Randall L., he's a quick guy like Curtis. He can go deep like Curtis, and I think he's going to produce a big game against the Detroit secondary.
Very good. It makes sense to me. He could be another Kevin Curtis, put up another Kevin Curtis like week. He'll return a couple punts for touchdowns against Detroit too.
Probably will, actually. Not could. So,
all right, we'll move on to tight ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some general thoughts in terms of the tight end position this year.
Well, I was surprised to look at the list and see that Shockey was pretty far down the list. I felt like he was more of a solid player than that. I think he was like 15th in our league, somewhere in that range, and I was surprised by how far he'd fallen this year.
Yeah, and on the flip side, you have Antonio Gates. He's second in the NFL in catches. So we told you before the season, you can get Gates at a third round, and he's still available in your draft. Get him. That's why he's going to be the #1 tight end. He's proving it. The guy's a stud. The running game in San Diego, although it's not that great right now, they're still able to get Gates open in the passing game, and they're using him.
And it's in spite of Phillip Rivers sucking.
Throwing shot puts, basically. I mean, his arm looks like rubber right now. I don't know what's going on there. So there's
somehow Gates holds onto the ball.
Yeah.
So he's the man there.
Yep. So how about a tight end that you really like this week, Jace?
My pick that I really like this week is Chris Cooley. I think it's pretty fashionable for us to be playing players against that Detroit defense on the road.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
It seems like it's too easy, so why not load up your team with as many Washington guys as you can this week? Chris Cooley should find some open holes in the middle of that soft defense.
I think so.
And your pick?
Your buddy, Jeremy Shockey. I think Shockey against the Jets. They're at home. Well, at home. So are the Jets, basically. But they're at home this week in front of their own fans. And I think Shockey is going to have a breakout week. I think Eli and the passing game there, they're going to have another big week this week, just like they had week 1. And I think Shockey is going to be a main part of that and contribute maybe a touchdown, maybe 2. He might get a couple of touchdowns this week against the Jets.
He's due.
He is due. So, how about sleeper, Jason?
A sleeper is Donald Lee. I guess you could call him the second tight end up in Green Bay. He and Bubba Franks are maybe 1 and 1A.
Yeah, but he has more catches than Franks. He does.
He does. But still, I'd say they're 1 and 1A. And they play Chicago Bears this week, and everybody knows about Bears' defensive injuries and how many points Detroit put up on in the fourth quarter last week. It's pretty ridiculous to see. So I'm going to pick Donald Lee.
All right. I like Mercedes Lewis for Jacksonville. They had a bye last week. He's produced a bunch. He's not a big time producer, all right. But they play at Kansas City. I think the Kansas City defense, they're playing well against the run right now. So I think Jacksonville's going to try to put the ball in the air and take advantage of the Kansas City secondary in the middle. And I think Mercedes Lewis might have a nice day as a sleeper tight end.
Very good.
All right.
Any final comments on this week, Jeff? Before we want to wrap things up?
Well, we're glad to be back. I mean, we both missed the 2-week. The suspension was hard on us. It really was. It wasn't enjoyable being on the sidelines, but we are back. Like Jason mentioned, we have a lot of energy. We're ready to go. So this season's been pretty predictable in terms of fantasy football. As you know, the quarterbacks and the wide receivers have been the top guys. The running backs have been a couple interesting guys. Ronnie Brown up there, but this is it. From now on, this is the start of the season. This is when the big guys shine, and I expect to see the LTs and even Larry Johnson. He's going to get back on the scene. They're going to start to come alive. So don't give up on him yet. And
this is the point in your fantasy season where you shouldn't give up either. Even a team that's 0-4 in fantasy play can still come back, make the playoffs, and make a run in the fantasy playoffs. This is where players can get hot this point in the season and really carry a team. Yeah. So even if you've started off poorly, don't give up.
Yep. All right, guys. So email your questions, fantasywiseguys@hotmail.com.
And if you noticed, we did not answer any email questions in today's show, because we've been off for a couple weeks and really haven't received very many timely email questions. But we'd like to bring that back to the show. So please, like Jeff was saying, send your questions to fantasywiseguys@hotmail.com.
And we have to go give a specimen right now. They are going to test us after this show. I hope the tests come back negative, and we'll see you next week.
Good luck.